Bangkok, Thailand is a modern metropolis of a city. But today we'll dive into one of its most traditional aspects: the wet market. A topic of much debate during the 2020 coronavirus outbreak. What's up? It's Red from Source and Flow. It is currently mid-March, and we are already a few months into a global coronavirus outbreak. Today we are going to be taking a trip inside a traditional Asian wet marketplace. Because the disease is thought to have stemmed from a Chinese wet market, I thought I would make this video in an attempt to show what wet markets are truly like throughout Asia. Today I am in Bangkok, Thailand, and we'll be heading to one of the largest wet markets in Bangkok, a place called Khlong Toei. Khlong Toei is chock full of mystery meats, seafood, and fresh fruits and vegetables. Today, the term wet market is even more apt because we are facing a torrential downpour over the market. Motorbike and foot traffic is backed up in the narrow alleyways of the market. In Thailand in particular, you will see an enormous amount of different seafood options. I've simply never seen as many types of squid at once. All kinds of varieties of fish, squid, prawns, and more. The amount of fresh seafood at this market is truly incredible. Here I watched as an old lady skillfully scales a fish for her customer. She only wears a single old, dirty cloth glove. I'm not sure that's the most hygienic way of handling it. In addition to seafood, you'll also see a lot of dried fish and meat jerkies of all types. You'll even see dried squids and other types of dried seafood. Up next to the raw meat section. I'll admit, usually I skip straight past the meat section if I need to go to a wet market. It's typically a pretty grisly sight. All manner of organs and body parts are on display, and the smell is extremely strong. Pig snouts, hearts, livers, intestines, brains. The meat section has all kinds of surprises up its sleeve. But if I were you, I'd keep walking. Once again, the workers only wear cloth gloves, and I'm skeptical of the hygiene. But I've heard rumors that the meats from these wet markets are actually way more fresh than you'd find at a grocery store. You'll also see plenty of animals in cages in these markets, and they seem to be in pretty poor conditions. You can see chickens and frogs, for example, all squashed together in tiny cages. They look miserable and they don't have much space to live. These frogs have zero room and are constantly pushing at each other in an attempt to escape the bag. Little do they know, they'll soon end up like this. At Khlong Toei, I also spotted several exotic birds, both wild and domesticated. There's a ton of negative hype and paranoia relating to these Asian wet marketplaces. But it's worth noting, not nearly every Asian wet marketplace is like the one in Wuhan, China. There are wet marketplaces in every single Asian city, all across the continent. And most wet markets do not deal in exotic animals and meats. You will see things you're not used to, But in many marketplaces, it doesn't go quite as far as endangered animals or those that have a chance to infect humans with viruses. Subscribe to Source and Flow for more epic food and world travel content.